got a guy that we're going to need to test Khabib. You're going to need a guy who can keep the fight standing, who can test Khabib on the feet. Some guy who's going to be able to stuff some of those takedowns.
Those guys don't come around often.
Well, not with him.
Tough.
When you see what he did to RDA, he ragdolled Dos Anjos, which is crazy. I mean, I do not know. There's a timeline of Dos Anjos' dominance, right?
That's a strong 70.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dos Anjos is a strong 70.
But this was a different time in Dos Anjos' training, and I think Dos Anjos made some giant leaps when he started doing strength and conditioning with Nick Curson.
Yep.
He started doing it just had way more output inside the cage. But the crazy thing was that Dos Anjos is one of the best grapplers in the division.
Yeah.
And you see what he was able to do with Neil Magny. Leg kicks Neil Magny, gets him to the ground, smushes him. You know, I mean, his fucking ground game is really legit. So to see him get ragdolled by Khabib, you're like, how is he doing that to RDA? You know,
it's nuts.
At 55, yeah, he's something special. So it's like, who is left at 55? Especially now that Dos Anjos has moved on successfully to 170. Who the fuck is left that's going to be able to keep the fight standing? You know.
That's the tough part. I don't think there are many answers. I really don't
know either, man.
I think they got to put together the Ferguson fight pretty quickly. I mean,
that's
in
the
a reasonable amount of time, because it's a big fight.
That's the fight. That's the fight. The question is, it's going to be for the title. Is it going to be Ferguson and Conor gets stripped, and Ferguson and Khabib fight for the undisputed title? Because they will just make Ferguson the undisputed champion if Conor gets stripped, which I don't think is a bad thing.
No.
Look, Conor's still fucking Conor. If Conor comes back a year from now, he's still Conor.
Huge.
Doesn't matter. He's still fighting probably for the title right away. Everybody's going to want it. Everybody's going to want the pay-per-view money that comes with it. Hop on board. But Tony versus Khabib is very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Khabib is a guy you have to get his respect.
Yeah. And
Tony you have to give him a reason to back up.
Tony knows how to fight off his back. Very good.
Yeah.
Very dangerous off his back. Not just dangerous off his back in terms of submissions, but very good defensively off his back. You know, he's got really good composure, very good wrestler. His chokes are fucking nasty, man. He catches chokes from weird angles. You know, he's good at sweeping you. He's legit. He's a legit champ, but that's the fight. Yep. I mean, that's the fight. Anything else is the fans of me calling for Khabib. Yeah, it's just, what do you do, though? Like, what do you do and how do you do it? Do you strip Conor? That's always the question, man. Because if Conor's like, fuck it, I want to fight Tony in Dublin. If he decides to come back and fight Tony, and then the winner fights Khabib in Russia, the world explodes. That would be huge. That would be the biggest thing. That'd be fantastic. The winner fights Khabib in Russia for the undisputed title. You ever call a fight in Russia? No, but Khabib's going to ride a bear out to the cage. It's gangster, man. Put a cage over the bear's face. It's literally gangster. It's really, it's a mobbed up place. Is it? It's fun there, yeah. How many times did you, I think 4? For Bellator? No, when I was with M1, they were running out of Russia. That's right. Yeah, so I did. That's right. St. Petersburg, and then I did. Did you enjoy it? Oh man, I had a great time. Yeah. Yeah. How's the food over there? Food's good. I don't like the way you said good. No, the food's good. The food's good. It's not like you're not known for it. All right, so I got to tell a story. We're on this ship in the Neva River, and it's owned by one of the guys who runs M1, and yeah, so we're on this ship in the Neva River, and it's got a restaurant on it, and we're sitting there, and Sean Wheelock, my old broadcast partner, is very persnickety about his food. He's persnickety about a lot of stuff. And we're sitting there with our boss and everything, and the guy who runs this ship, this big heavy in St. Petersburg, who's affiliated with M1, serves us this borscht, which is like, you know, a beet stew, basically. Yeah. And he goes, man, we're really proud of our borscht. It's a big deal here. And, oh, we hope you enjoy it. It's a point of honor for us. And he walks away, and Wheelock looks at the bowl and goes, I'm not eating this. I don't like it. And our boss goes, you will fucking eat it right now. Like a 7-year-old, like, you will eat this right now. You will fucking eat it. And he's like, no, I'm not eating. Like, folded his arms. Like, I'm not eating. No way. Now, I eat so fast. White people. I eat so fast that I already ate it. I like borscht. So I just ate it. And I set my thing down. The guy who was all proud of his borscht turns around and is heading back to us. And my boss looks at me and goes, points to Sean's food, and I grabbed it and I drank an entire bowl of that shit and threw it down before the guy came back. And he saw that we had fish. Oh, thank you so much. It's so good. You drank Sean's too? Sean was just refusing to touch it. Persnickety is a nice word. Persnickety. I like how you use that. That's He's very selective about it. But it's a nice way. Like, nobody can get mad. Yeah, it wasn't like he was like, yeah, he calls someone persnickety. Picky. Yeah, you're not saying they're a complaining bitch. No.
I
Definitely
wouldn't
not.
say that. Come on.
I didn't think you would.
Would not.
No,
Especially
you're-
chickadee.
I understand.
No, I'm not eating that. I was like, I'll eat it. I was like, fuck it, give it to me.
I know there's been some talk about doing a UFC in Russia, and I think a lot of it is probably based on the idea that Khabib at 25-0 is most likely somewhere along the line going to fight for the title. I mean, if everything continues to go well, as long as there's no injuries or something.
Yeah.
Especially now that he can make the weight. Like, he made the weight pretty easy.
Yeah, it didn't look bad.
Not at all.
That would be a huge fight.
Fucking
You have
A.
enough Russian talent that, you know,
Oh, yeah,
it would work
man.
well.
Oh, just from Dagestan alone, you could fill the whole roster.
Yeah.
Dagestan versus the world. You really could. You almost could.
We had a fighter in Bellator, Shabalat Shamalayev, ended up getting shot like 5 times in Dagestan.
Jesus
He lived.
Christ.
He lived. He went after some gangster with a gun or something in a club, and he got like torn apart.
It's
crazy, man.
It's a tough world. We're so soft over here. Sean Wheelock need to go camping over there for a little while.
Dude. Like, you know, the wrestlers in Chechnya are amazing. Saitiev brothers, the greatest ever. Well, fuck, man. If you grow up in Chechnya, and it's like either be a standout wrestler or,
Dead.
I don't know, pick up a gun and, you know, be a gangster. They, you know, dude's amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting to see a guy from that really hard part of the world coming over and just dominating in MMA. You know, like with Khabib, you know that a lot of it is technique, a lot of it is being trained by his father, a lot of it is iron sharpens iron. He's at AKA.
Yeah.
He's wrestling with big, giant guys that are really skillful all the time. It's an amazing roster over there. But a lot of it is this fucking mental toughness that he must have picked up some of that from being in Dagestan.
Yeah.
Just has to.
It's true. I mean, the Russian fighters that I've dealt with, like, you could know them and call a ton of fights with them, and they'll still kind of look at you like they want to fight you or something. You're like, you know, I know. Hey, how's it going? And they kind of like break character. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, but there's always this wall you got to get through almost every time.
You know, one of the
great fighters though.
That Korshkov guy, that guy's a fucking beast.
Oh, monster.
That guy's a beast. That was one of the most impressive Lima fights too. When he put that guy to sleep, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that left hook. But it was leg kicks that set it up. He was kicking the shit out of that leg, and I think Korshkov went like, I got to trade now. I got to get this guy out of here. And, you know, it's not going to work.
And Korshkov, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, was one of the first guys to validate Bellator's 170-pound division from the performance he put against Henderson. Like, he shut Henderson down and beat him up. Teed off on him and let him know, like, I'm a real welterweight. Then Lima made him look like maybe he's not. Yeah. You know, like maybe that's a real welterweight. He's a lot bigger. He looked bigger.
Yeah, way bigger.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's one of those things where there was a big disparity between what people within the organization and what people out of the organization thought. Because a lot of people thought Henderson was going to come in and clean house and have 2 belts. But there's one jinx that I have seen more than any other. If you're listening, fighters, this is to you. Don't talk about 2 belts before you have 1 belt.
Ooh, that is the jinx.
Have you never... dude, am I wrong?
Brandon Vera was
Brandon Vera, I'm going to be a 2-belt champion.
Yep.
He didn't win 1 belt. Vincent Henderson talked about winning 2 belts. He didn't win 1 belt.
Yeah.
You know, talking about 2 belts before you've won 1 belt is a huge jinx. Don't ever do that. Well, I've never seen it be good. I've seen it a couple other times.
Benson, when he left,
never worked out.
When he left the UFC, he was, you know, one of the best guys in the division.
And he's 1-3 in belts.
It just this 170-pound weight class was just not right for him with a big guy like Korshkov.
Yeah.
You know, and it would have been more prominent if it was against Lima.
Did you see like their weigh-in?
Yeah,
I went
big difference.
Like, you know, it's one of these where you think about if a guy has trouble making 55, well, he's a 70.
Right.
No, he's not. He's not. There's
a
huge difference between like a big 55er and a natural 70. They're not in the same class. And Korshkov looked like a giant compared to him.
Well, the difference is Lima's just not going to fucking make 55. It's just not happening.
It's not in his DNA. If you can make the weight,
make the weight.
Make the weight.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's boy, it's one of the most unfortunate parts of the sport.
It's like the tough. If the cut isn't tough, then you shouldn't be there. Almost, you know what I mean? Like if you could make it easily, you know, it's tough, man.
As long as it doesn't drain you, because everybody's different too, right? In their response to dehydration. But Andy Foster, what he's done in California by instituting a bunch of new weight classes, I really hope that people follow suit. I really do. I really hope there's 1 every 10 pounds. I just think giving people more options is gonna. There's some fighters that are just on the cusp where it's just dangerous. You know, and then maybe if they fought, like Dos Anjos goes up to 70, that's a 55 to 70, 15-pound jump. That's a lot of weight, man.
Yeah.
50% more than if it was just 10. And I think 10 is the move. I feel like every 10, you're not watering it down too much. You're making it reasonable. Just bang everything down to 5s. 55, 65, 75, 85, probably 95, 205, 225. heavyweight.
So we were having a discussion with this once again. Boxing. I was talking to Steve Farhood,